Welcome to the 49th Annual South Boston St. Patrick's Day Breakfast. I'm sorry, St. Patrick's Day Luncheon. It's in the afternoon. In support of the Edgerly Boys and Girls Club here in South Boston. It's just a mile down the road. On behalf of Boys and Girls Club President Robert Lewis Jr. and Edgerly Club Executive Director Josh Davis and the team at the Southie Club, thank you all for being here today. Your support goes directly toward helping our youth thrive at the Southie Club, one of whom you'll hear from shortly, our club's Youth of the Year, Jamadi Pena. This is the club's marquee event of the year in South Boston, so it's fitting we're here in the marquee room at the Omni Hotel. A special thanks to Jonathan Davis and the general manager, Michael Jorgensen, and his team here at Omni, as well as members of Local 26 Unite Here for hosting us, and your attendance and support here is much appreciated. As many of you know, St. Patrick's Day is intertwined here in Boston with Evacuation Day, the day the people of Boston and surrounding area militia drove the British out of Boston after the siege of the city. It's almost a months-long celebration for us here in South Boston as we celebrate through various events and commemorations. It's also a great way to make up for lost time for those of us that participated in January. But we always have a priest on staff to balance off the unholiness that is bound to take place this time of year. So I'd like to welcome up someone who walks the walk and has provided our community with spiritual guidance in many ways, and that's our good friend, the patron saint of our community, Father Joe White.
I didn't know I was on staff. Do I get a check? As we come together and ask God's blessing, especially on those who really need to work on their jokes before the 16th, and bring our prayers together in a special way. Let's have a moment of silence. Just a moment of silence for the great needs around us, huh? So for all those needs we have as individuals, families, community, city, nation, world, society, churches, faiths, we bring our prayers together and recognize God's guidance and direction. Growing up in a Boston Catholic Irish household, when I graduated from high school, I went to high school with Jack Hart. I used to cheat off him. Neither of us did very well. But in the process, when I graduated from BC High, my mother wrote in a card an Irish blessing. It's important to get them straight, folks. She wrote, "May the happiest days of your future be no better than the saddest days of your past." It's a little backwards, folks. It's a little backwards, and I've kept that card. But let's get this one straight, and to ask God's blessing on the club, on Jamari and her congratulations. It's in Atlanta. What's the name of the college? Clark Atlanta. Hopefully, she says at the end. At the end, she says, hopefully, Clark Atlanta College at the end. Congratulations to you and the blessings of the club and all that takes place there and has for years and generations. And bring together those prayers. For Josh, for all the staff of the club, for all those who celebrate Evacuation Day, our city, for the needs around us, and for this community and all that celebrates St. Patrick's Day. Let's get this one straight. May the most we wish for be the least we get. May the best times we've ever had be the worst we'll ever see. And may God bless us, bless this community, bless the club, bless our city, and bless our nation as we pray. Blessed are you, Lord God of all creation. Bless the food we're about to receive, the fellowship and the camaraderie shared at this luncheon every year, and this year in particular. For those who prepare it and serve it, and for all those who have supported it, we ask blessings going forth into this very long month of March in South Boston. Amen.
Thank you, Father Joe. We'll need many more of your blessings in this next few weeks. I do want to recognize some great supporters and leaders that are here today joining us. District Attorney Kevin Hayden, who's doing a great job keeping our streets safe. And coming back home, I guess, from across the river, someone who had led the planning in the city for many years early in my career and is back leading the Boston Planning and Development Agency, and that's Cairo Shen. Welcome back. And a new leader across the street who's taken on big challenges at the Convention Center Authority, Marcel Vernon. Marcel, welcome. Next, I would like to welcome up the leader of the Boys and Girls Club here in South Boston. Also, sort of a bit of a homecoming, Josh Davis. Actually, around the time I graduated from high school, stepped foot in the club to take on a leadership role there. And the Edgerly Club director has been serving the Boys and Girls Club for over 3 decades. And 22 years ago began that journey in South Boston. And I know it's a sweet return because by the time you came back, we got off-street parking for you guys there on West 6th Street, which is no small feat. But I think it's important that the continuity that continues at the Boys and Girls Club, and it's spoken to through Josh's leadership. Please welcome the Executive Director of the Edgerly Club here in South Boston, Josh Davis.
Thank you, Senator Collins. My name is Josh Davis. I am the Executive Director at the Edgerly Family Boys and Girls Club. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. I have to admit, my first thought today was this is now my 3rd year at this event. I thought maybe 3rd time would be a charm and I would test out some of my Irish humor. Then I decided I'm at the Boys and Girls Club. I work in South Boston. It is March. So I decided to convene some of the greatest young comedic minds in the city and ask them to share a few of their best Irish jokes and St. Patrick's Day jokes. My thought process here was if these fall flat, I know that we would not want to disappoint the kids and not laugh. So with that being said, one of our 7-year-olds said to me, "Why can't you borrow money from a leprechaun?" Because they will always be short. One of our 8-year-olds said, "Dad, I met an Irish girl on St. Patrick's Day." Dad said, "Oh, really?" And the son said, "No, O'Reilly." And that's all I have for today. And how about a big hand for Bobby Folks and Karaz Fancy for setting the mood with some traditional Irish music. Although not in attendance today, please join me in a round of applause for the longtime architect of this event and the biggest advocate for the South Boston community, Patty McCormick. And a special shout out to former event chair Jerry Verbickus, as well as advisory board co-chairs Tim Rogers and Zach Fletchner. I'd also like to thank, yes, absolutely. Also like to thank each of our table sponsors and give a special shout out to our lead sponsors, P&G Gillette, Related Beal, and Massport. And whether it be Shanta, aka Speedy, who recently expanded his Wolfpack running club to now include parents and families, Brady facilitating a weekly Harry Potter read aloud, or teen staff members Mike Mogan, who oversees our Keystone Leadership Program, and Jen, who works tirelessly to make sure that all of our teens are ready to work. Our goal at the club is that every member that walks through that door, regardless of race or economic background, is ready to take that next step in school and in their lives. I don't get a chance to embarrass my staff too often. At least I hope I don't. But if I could ask the staff to please stand for just a moment. It is truly my privilege to walk into the club and work with this group of people every day. They are committed to making a difference in the community, and they're committed to making sure that every day a member walks through our doors is the best day that they've had this week. We simply could not do this work without each and every one of you in this room. So thank you very much. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the club's Director of Community and Club Operations, Tim Bothwell. I won't put Tim's age out there because we're about the same age, but Tim's been walking through the Boys and Girls Club doors since he was 3 years old. Apparently, our membership rule of having to be 6 and in the first grade may have been a little lax back then, but I'd like to invite Tim to the stage to introduce an exceptional young woman, our club's Youth of the Year. Tim Bothwell.
Because I've been the same height since I was 3, so they can't tell. They also wanted someone who fits the description of a leprechaun, so that's why they invited me up to speak today. I can't help it with the dad jokes, kids. I'm sorry. But it is my honor, as a proud South Bostonian, as a club kid, as a club parent and alumni, and now one of the directors here. It's truly an honor to be here. I've been to this event a number of times, obviously from Anthony's to here to Laugh Boston, and it's truly exceptional, the same faces I see year after year and the new faces as well. So I appreciate you all being here today. This is an easy thing for me because I'm talking about one of our phenomenal best kids we have at our club, Jemighty Pena, who's our Youth of the Year for 2025. A little history about Jemighty. She joined us as a cute little quiet 8-year-old way back when. Big trivia champ up in education. Her and Mike's son used to battle head to head for years. And she just got what the club had to offer for her. Every day, big smile on her face, connecting with all of our staff, and as she grew up throughout the program. She did stuff like Torch Club, which is our peer leadership program for 11 to 13-year-olds, Stand Strong, which is anti-bullying, junior staff, teen associate, Keystone president, as well as our Ready to Work program, and I believe our first intern for Robert Lewis Jr. last summer for Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. She's a senior now at Roxbury Prep, and obviously we talked already about Clark Atlanta University, where we hope she's attending in September. But that's a direct impact of this event. If you were here 2 years ago, the QR codes that are on the table now, went to our Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston HBCU college tour. Because that event that year, Jemighty went to that tour. And being on that tour is what opened her eyes to go to Clark University, and we're happy to say that she will be going there in September. So nothing makes me more prouder. Yep. And one last thing before she can come up and talk about me, hopefully in a nice way. Watching kids grow up in our program, you see them as little kids and quiet and shy, and you just watch them evolve. And you've been there for 32 years like I have. I guess I'll age myself. it's one of the most rewarding things for me is to watch our young people grow up and to become the future leaders that they're going to be in the society. And Jemide's no exception. Like I said, quiet kid as an 8-year-old. Now we quietly, the staff call her the club mom. So when they're in Keystone and ready to work meetings and some of her peers are kind of getting distracted, she gets them right back in line to make sure they're focused and stayed on task. And that's pretty big for a teenager to do, specifically with all her peers. So it is my honor and pleasure to introduce our 2025 Youth of the Year, Miss Jemide Pena.
Okay, well, obviously, my name is Jemide, and I have been going to the club for 9-ish years now, and I plan, again, on attending Clark Atlanta University. Oh, can y'all hear me now? Oh, okay. So my name is Jemide, and I obviously plan on going to Clark Atlanta and majoring in psychology to hopefully become a psychologist with working specifically with teenagers. At the club, I've quite literally done every program I could have, and I feel like that gave me the opportunity to understand what I wanted to do. It helped me find my passion and a way to connect. Like, I wanted to help people, but I also had my passion, and the club helped me connect those two things. And so with the club, I was able to do a bunch of different things, from snowshoeing, which I did not like, but I learned that I didn't like that, with skiing and snowboarding and trivia. And it was just a way for me to open my eyes to a bunch of different opportunities, which is what I wanted to see for every single kid at the club. I wanted them to have as many opportunities as they could have and as they should get. And yeah, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for every single person in this room, and especially my mother and my best friend Kalia and all my staff over here, and Tim, of course, and Josh. And yeah, thank you. And I would like to introduce CEO and President Robert Lewis.
Congratulations. Can we hear it again for Jemide, please? We're so excited, so proud. And Tim, I think as you were sharing a couple of years ago when we were asking folks, about supporting the college tour, and what really comes out of that, and folks' investment in your time and your energy, is not just Jemide, but so many Jemides across the Boys and Girls Clubs throughout our city of Boston, as well as Chelsea. I also want to, thank our Senator Collins, for jumping in and helping to lead this with us this morning, and just appreciate and value you and your leadership and all that you do as well. Also, when I think of, our work only can happen because, as Josh said, that Josh gets a chance to be the director, and then having someone like Tim that's been there for so many years, but also this incredible staff that's to the right in the far corner, and the great work that you do every single day in really leading our folks. So again, I just want to publicly just thank you, commend you, and just thank you for all of your leadership. It's great to be here with you as we kick off this incredible weekend here in South Boston. There's nothing like, everyone knows, like St. Patrick's Day in Boston. And I'll be honest, it's really cool. And I don't just wear this green tie just here. It's a pretty cool tie that I can wear around. And I love that. And I was sharing with folks, like, I got my cool socks. And my son, who's here last night, came to the house and he wanted my socks. I says, no, I'm wearing them, because it's also, just feeling proud. And if you didn't see me up here in Lewis, I don't know, like with my family or anything, I think they're from, someone says, maybe Claddagh in Ireland. Maybe next, we can check?
Yeah, Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com. So thank you for that. But I also want to just really thank you. And when we think of the generations of young people who walk through our doors, who have found mentors, who have found friendships, who have gained confidence to chase their dreams, and how do we help to bring those dreams to reality? Many of them are now leaders, running businesses, serving our city, and giving back to the community that raised them. How many folks in this room, even if it's not in Boston, are a Boys and Girls Club alum? Wow. Wow. So when we start thinking about the potential and opportunity of our young folks, it's also to fill the shoes that so many of us have. South Boston has nearly 500 plus young people every day looking to fulfill the promise and to fulfill their dreams. But here's something we believe at Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. Greatness doesn't happen by accident. We don't just give young people a place to go after school. We give them a vision for their future. We set high expectations because we know high expectations will drive greatness. When we challenge young people to dream big, to work hard, we tell them, you are capable of excellence. You are deserving of every opportunity. And you are worthy of this investment that folks today are making in their lives. That's why we are creating pathways to careers in healthcare, careers in technology, careers in the trades, fields that will shape them, but also shape our city's future. It's why we provide access to mental health support and serve over 270,000 nutritious meals a year. Because no child should have to navigate life's challenges on an empty stomach. We can't have our young folks get educated, prepared, for after-school programming or work if they have an empty stomach, and we'll continue at the Boys and Girls Clubs on building on these nutritious meals. We're not just supporting our club members, we are building Boston's future talent pipeline. So I'd like to say, if you're selfish and you're supporting us, please know when you see Jamari, that's what we're doing. We're building this next talent pipeline, not just for our city of Boston or Chelsea, our Commonwealth, but also for our country. Let's be clear, this is not about charity. This is about opportunity. Because in Boston, a city full of opportunity, access, and it's not ability that determines success, it's what we are here to change. We see disparities every day. The barriers are real, but so is the possibilities and the potential of all of our young people. The challenges our community face are urgent, and we cannot afford to wait. That's why we're making bold moves, because we feel a fair sense of urgency today. Every child has the skills, talents, and we want to provide the opportunity for them to thrive. Boston is a city full of opportunity, but only if we make sure it's accessible to everyone. We need all to be part of this, and you are, by taking action, by being here today. But you know this, we can't do it alone. We need you. We need your support. We need your mentorship. We need your guidance as we're moving forward. You have stepped up, and we're going to continue to challenge others to keep stepping up on behalf of our folks. So a few things that some have done, and we just throw out. If you're looking you have an internship opportunity, hire our young people. Offer internships, or we'd love to just do job shadowing to find out what you do or to learn directly from you. Or if you want to mentor a young person, or, for somebody who can just believe in possibilities. This is more than a mission, it's a movement that we're building. Every day we work to move mountains for our young people so they can rise to their full potential. Together, we're going to show them that their dreams are not just possible, but all of their dreams are within reach. So thank you for standing with us. Thank you for believing in our young folks and being part of this journey with us. Please enjoy this month, enjoy today, and enjoy each other. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you to Robert, to Tim, And to Jamaidi, congratulations, and to you and your family, you make us proud, and good luck on your journey. Before we invite up our next guest speakers, I just want to, something about Tim Bothwell. I think it's important to mention the club team that I said has maintained continuity at the club. Tim was a team council when I was a member there. He's done a fantastic job and rising to director of operations. And I think that means a lot to a community that's seen dramatic changes over the course of the last several decades, particularly economically, that can put a lot of stress on families that the club serves. And I just want to say thank you to Tim, Mike Mogan, and to those who continue to carry the torch at the Boys and Girls Club. And to Robert Lewis, Jr., I've had the chance to see Robert's leadership throughout his career in the nonprofit community at ABCD, Action for Boston Community Development, to his work at the Boston Foundation and the founding of the Base, which his son has taken on, a great nonprofit in the South End, Roxbury. Everybody knows that he's a city kid through and through and a former club member himself. And, he was at the club in South Boston a few weeks ago when the Celtics were down there. And, everyone had commented how his energy level was lifted up being among the kids. And I think he continues to be inspired and inspires the youth through his work, his hands-on leadership. We're grateful for it. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Mention a few more guests that are with us. Someone who I had the chance to work for and to work with, who's now been in the private sector for a bit, who used to be up here as the MC. That's former Senator Jack Hart and his better half, Michelle of Hanscom Credit Union. I think my colleagues had planned on mentioning, but I want to mention some colleagues in government that are here from the state and city level. Representative Dan Hunt, thank you for being here, a great supporter of the Boys and Girls Club. City Council President Ruth C. Louis Jung. Councilor at Large Erin Murphy. And District 3 City Councilor John Fitzgerald. I also do want to mention another public leader who's done great work in transportation, is now back home where he belongs here in Boston, running the Massport Authority, Rich Davey. So another individual who's really been a great champion for our youth and has supported the Boys and Girls Club as a member of its board for decades, and really has been a mentor to many people in the public and private sector, and that's longtime board member and philanthropist Kevin Phelan. So Congressman Lynch couldn't join us. He's in Washington, wants to send his regards. And he was telling me a story about how he was walking down Broadway last weekend when he came across a lamp that was partially hidden at the foot of a street tree. He picked up the lamp and gave it a rub. A genie appeared and told him that he would be granted one wish. So Congressman Lynch thinks for a moment and says, "I want to live forever." "Sorry," replies the genie, "I'm not allowed to grant eternal life." "Right," says the congressman. "Then I want to die after Congress balances the budget and eliminates all of our debt." So the genie looks up at him slyly and says to the congressman, "You crafty devil." We're just trying to keep it kosher here today, the kids. Next up, I'd like to, all right. We're going to welcome up our mayor. Mayor Michelle Wu is with us today. Many of us, she's, doesn't need to be introduced anywhere in Boston, and now I guess around the country. She was in D.C. this week for what was billed as a showdown with congressional Republicans. It was more like a prep for the greatest comedic roast one could ever dream of. Elected in 2013 as a at-large city councilor, she previously served as city council president, and in 2021 was elected mayor of Boston. Please give a warm South Boston welcome to the 54th mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu.
Happy St. Patrick's Month to all. It is good to be home, I will tell you that. Thank you to my incredible colleagues. I am so grateful now for the Boston City Council after what I saw there. Madam President, Councilors Fitzgerald and Murphy, of course, your head table here, Councilor Flynn, and to all of our colleagues, Senator, Representative, Rep. Hunt, DA Hayden, and to everyone who helps make Boston our incredible city, the safest major city in the country, and one that's going to continue to set the standard. Thank you for all that you do day in and day out. I also want to thank the community of South Boston for giving me probably the best preparation I could have for this hearing. Early on, I was asked by one of the congresspeople, what do you think, what do you say to Tom Homan, who has vowed to bring hell to Boston? And I said, Congressman, have you ever been to South Boston for a community meeting on bike lanes? And then Representative Nancy Mace jumped in. She had her whole thing. She was waving her arms around. And then at the end, she looks at me and goes, "You hypocrite," thinking that calling me a name would make me upset. And again, I said, Congresswoman, come to South Boston for a bike lanes meeting. And so, all jokes aside, it was such an honor to be able to talk about our city, to stand up for the work that we're doing here, for the people on the ground, for the incredible commitment across every part of our community to take care of each other at a time when it feels like there are so many who are looking to tear us apart. I am so grateful to this community, to the neighborhood of South Boston, to the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you to Tim, to your entire team, to Robert for your partnership, your beacon of light as a home and a haven for young people all across the city for generations. Father, and to everyone here who has played a part in really crafting the story of Boston and who we are. We are never going to apologize for that. We will come at whoever's trying to come at us on that front, and I could not be prouder to represent this community. Most of all, today I am proudest to be able to offer just a little bit of additional recognition for Jomairi. Thank you for the leadership that you represent as the 2025 Honoree Youth of the Year. Could I invite you up to receive this? So, official certificate from the City of Boston in honor of your leadership and contributions to the Boys and Girls Club of Boston. We celebrate the unique role you've played in spirit, friendship, and mentorship at the club and beyond. And we recognize and appreciate the ways you've enhanced the richness of our South Boston community through your example. So, on behalf of the entire city, congratulations and thank you. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for what you do to make sure that amazing young leaders like Jomairi and so many in our community are supported with everything that they need to go as far as they can and to take over stewardship of this incredible city. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next speaker has deep roots in Irish Boston. The son of former mayor and U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See, Councilor Ed Flynn has dedicated his life to serving our community, our city, and our country. A former probation officer and retired United States Navy veteran, he has served as a city council president, now in his third term as a city council from District 2. He serves as the chair of the Committee of Veterans, Military Families, and Veterans Affairs. Please welcome my good friend and neighbor, City Councilor Ed Flynn.
Thank you, Senator Collins, and thank you to the distinguished head table here, and honored to be with everybody, with Mayor Wu and all of the elected officials that are here, and Father Joe, thank you for being here and for your incredible support. of the South Boston community as well. And Father, really your support for so many people across greater Boston that's in recovery. You help save lives. Thank you, Father. Like Mayor Wu, I also have the opportunity to present a recognition to Jumadi for her incredible leadership and for her accomplishments as a member of the youth at the South Boston Boys and Girls Club. I had the opportunity to talk to her this morning before the event started, and as I was having lunch, I was looking over at her, and I also saw the bulletin board, and I could see her photo on the bulletin board, electronic board across the street as well. But you have some wonderful honors here, but it's through your hard work and determination and listening to your comments. What you really are focused on is accomplishing and going to school, but you're also helping so many young people in need as well, and that's real leadership. Congratulations. The program actually listed me as the city council president, and that was such a tremendous honor for me, but the honor of being city council president is with the city council president, Councilor Louis Jean. I also want to recognize, I know Nick Collins recognized him earlier, but I also want to recognize him. He's been a mentor to me for so many years and a wonderful supporter of the South Boston Boys and Girls Club, a wonderful, wonderful person, Kevin Phelan. Kevin. My wife, Kristen, and I live across the street from the South Boston Boys and Girls Club, and one of the highlights of living there is seeing the young boys and girls going to camp, especially in the summertime, or going there on a Saturday morning and talking to them, listening to the young people. And, you know, the hard work, determination, the fun they're having at the club, the volunteer spirit that they have. They're bringing this city together. They're bringing this community together, and it's literally located in the middle of down the road of a public housing development. You could not get a more diverse group of young people than the kids at the South Boston Boys and Girls Club, and that's really a credit to the outstanding leadership they have at the headquarters in downtown, Robert and Josh, but also Tim and Patty. They do a tremendous job. So I want to acknowledge the leadership at the South Boston Boys and Girls Club. And I also want to recognize someone that is no stranger to the South Boston Boys Club. He worked there for so many years and provided leadership, Josh Kraft. Josh, thank you for your leadership at the Boys Club as well. And in conclusion, I do want to present this resolution. I did have the opportunity to talk to you earlier, Jumadi, and want to say congratulations and thank you. And on behalf of my colleagues, we have this resolution for you, and it's signed by myself, by John Fitzgerald, Erin Murphy, and the City Council President as well. But if you'd love to come up, we'd be honored. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you, Senator Collins, for bringing us together.
Thank you, Councilor. Our next speaker was elected in 2018 to the House of Representatives. Prior to that, I had the pleasure of working with him on my team in the House, and he's been steadily rising in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Recently appointed as Vice Chair of the Financial Services Committee, he currently serves as Chair of the Boston Delegation, also known as the Boston Caucus, that dates back to our founding fathers here in the city. A proud club alum, Representative Beal previously served as on the Club Advisory Board and has been an avid supporter in the House budget debate for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. Please welcome another good friend and neighbor, Southeast State Representative David Beal.
Thank you, Senator Collins, for that kind introduction. Everything I know, I learned from the senator from my time in the House. So happy to be here with you, and look forward to a great show next week. I do have greetings from the Massachusetts House of Representatives for Youth of the Year. So I would ask Joe Mighty to come back up one more time. In recognition of being named the Edgerly Family South Boston Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year for your passionate leadership and support of youth and teens, the entire membership of the House extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Congratulations, enjoy your day, and we look forward to seeing what you do next. And I know they were mentioned earlier. I want to give Patty McCormick and Jerry Verbickus a big shout out. I was introduced to the club through Patty and Jerry, and my involvement wouldn't be possible without them. So I know they've cared about this tradition for a long, long time. So Patty and Jerry, you're with us in spirit. And in talking about traditions, it's the time of year where we all get up here uncomfortably and try to tell a joke or two. So we're going to try our best. Just want to forewarn you, I drop my daughter off at daycare every day, and I tried a few on the way to daycare. She was asleep by the time I pulled up, so be gentle. So an Irish priest is driving along a country road when a policeman pulls him over. He immediately smells alcohol on the priest's breath and notices an empty wine bottle in the backseat of the car. He asks, "Father, have you been drinking tonight?" "Just water," says the priest. The police officer replies, "Well, then why do I smell wine?" The priest looked at the bottle and says, "Good Lord, he's done it again." Looks like we have a little bit more work to do for the breakfast next week, but appreciate everybody for being here, for supporting the club. It wouldn't be possible without the support of everybody here. So thank you, God bless, happy St. Patrick's Day, and happy Evacuation Day.
Thanks, Rep. We all know why you really came here today, for a liquid lunch on a Friday and to laugh at crude jokes by our next guest, a real comedian, Will Noonan. Will's been a great supporter of this event for so many years, in all these events around St. Patrick's Day. He was named Best Comedian in Boston, has performed across the country, including with comedic legends Louis C.K., Amy Schumer, and Sarah Silverman. He's also the ultimate migrant, moving from Milton to South Boston before migrating down to Walpole in search of parking. He hosts a weekly show for us here on Wednesday at Capo on Broadway. We still love him here in South Boston. Please welcome comedian Will Noonan.
All right, man. All right, thank you, Nick Collins, for that lively introduction. Also, why do they rush the mayor out every single time I'm about to start talking? Every time. It's like they get her right out of here. I wanted to say thanks. I thought she did such a good job. Let's hear it for Mayor Wu when she was in Washington. I know she's not from Southie, but she had the fire of a Southie person whose parking spot had been taken during a snowstorm, I thought. But it's great to be here. This is a gig every comedian dreams of. Noon, priests are here, children, it just doesn't get better. I don't know how many Wahlbergs said no to this before they got to me, but I'm happy to be here today. I guess also my wife and I, mostly my wife, we just had a baby ourselves. Thank you very much. Whew. I give it up. I got a new respect for mothers, guys. I really do. That looked brutal, let me tell you. Absolutely horrible. I was right up front. I even texted my mom right after. I texted her like 5 minutes. You know, she's an old Southie lady. I texted her. I was like, Mom, you know what? I get it. I get it now. I understand why you've been so upset my entire life. That was upsetting. I'm upset now. She's doing great, though, in case you're wondering. She loves Ed Flynn, also leaving right now. She loves him, too. She loves Nick. She loves everyone. She loves them here. She's a great lady, old Irish Southie lady. You know, you all know them. You know, there's some here probably right now. Can't work an iPhone for anything, though. Isn't that just... I'm getting real tired of fixing her iPhone every Sunday, and I know that doesn't... It's not really in the spirit of the day, but that's where I'm at. You know, it's just, I taught them how to use AOL. I taught them how to use a printer. And now every weekend I'm over there fixing their iPhone, you know, every single Sunday. And at first, we were both nice about it, you know. My mom used to be like, oh my God, something's wrong with my phone. Can you fix it for me? Please. And I'd be like, oh, Ma, of course. Please, I'm here. You know, I love to fix your phone. And it's weekend after weekend after weekend. It's not a good environment over there either. You know, it's Law and Order SVU on as loud as possible. It's just so loud. I'm like, and it's the scary one. SVU, that's the worst one. Sex crimes. I'm like, I've heard the word penetration 75 times. That's not good for the soul. So I'm sitting there going through the passwords, you know, my mom's just looking at me. She used to be nice. Now she just sits there like a crackhead. She's like, just my Facebook. That's all I need. I don't even need the whole phone. Just my Facebook. That's all. If you could just bring back my Facebook. I think your sister's ex-husband's doing something. So I'm like, okay. And then now it's like she doesn't even say hello. She just shoves the thing in my hand as I'm walking in the door, you know? So the last time she handed it to me, I was kind of like, jeez, you know, like that. She goes, what? You can't fix my phone? I taught you how to read? And you can't fix my phone? I said, Mom, it's true. You did teach me how to read. But I've remembered how to read. I didn't come over here every Sunday like, teach me how to read again, Mama. Good night, Moon. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It was, that's how it was back then. But anyway, we're cooking now. We're doing okay. Let's get into the dicier material. I don't know, there's marijuana dispensaries everywhere. It's legal now. We can talk about it's a big business. You know, it's funny. I'm glad they're there, you know, for the obvious reason, but also when Blockbuster Video closed, I was like, where are these people going to work? Where are all these hairy dudes going to find employment, you know? And they went in the woods and watched anime for a few years, and now they're back, and they're at the dispensaries for us. You know, I love being in a room full of people of all ages, really, in this room, right? And it's great because we've got baby boomers in here, and for years they told us that if we smoked a joint, we would be dead by the afternoon, you know? And now they're all on edibles. Some of them are on them right now. Some of the people in this room popped a couple edibles on the way in just to relax, you know? And that's okay. It's allowed, right? But, you know, for a long time it wasn't. And I used to do it the old-fashioned way, you know, maintain a friendship with a guy from high school for decades, you know. You meet him at AutoZone on his break, right? He comes out, sells you a couple bags, tells you about lizards. It's a good time. You show up someplace, everyone's like, you saw Dante? You're like, oh, I saw Dante. Well, those were good days. But now it's a dispensary, which is good, but everyone's going. And now it's like, just like the iPhone, if someone has a problem with it, they call me. So now I'm getting phone calls from my boomer aunts, usually around 11:30 on a weekend. It's always like, Billy, how many gummy bears should I take for a Rod Stewart DVD? I took 16. I'm pretty scared. I can feel my hair growing. I can see my feelings. Call me back. It's a godmother. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with boomers. They don't touch weed for 20 years, and then one day they're like, 1,000 milligrams? That sounds good. I'm going to do a whole 1,000. Everyone's like, I don't know what that means. Well, anyway, we're here to celebrate being Irish. I love being Irish. I really do. I was sad to leave South Boston, Nick. It was for Walpole, but it is great parking in my driveway every single day. But it's just not the same. And I I still come back, obviously, every week for Capo, but I also come back just to see my friends and family often. And one of my favorite things to do every year is go watch the polar bear plunge at the L Street Bathhouse. Watch being the key word there. I would never do it. I look bad enough at the beach. That's what I think every year when I go. You know, I love being Irish. This whole month is about love and being Irish. We're great. We're great talkers. We're great fighters. We're great drinkers. We're a lot of great things, right? But one thing you can tell when you look at us at the beach is that we're not a sexy group of people. I'm sorry, it's a weird vibe in here when I say that. People are like, "What the hell, Will? Come on." It's early to be calm, but it's true. I mean, just think about it. You know what I mean? There's websites online. You know, I don't want to talk about them right now in front of Boys and Girls Club people, but there's websites online, okay? And they have thousands of categories. And every race has a category, every ethnicity has a category on there. But if you type in Irish, it's 404, not found. It's just that you can't find us. It's the Simpsons are on there, but you can't find us. There's never been one. There's never been a pizza delivery guy in one of those movies who was like, top of the morning, man. Here, deliver your pizza. You know, he's covered in paint. His white van is behind him. He's smoking, you know. It's just not something anyone's looking for. You know, we want to be. We really want to be a good-looking group. And we try our best, you know. A big thing we like to do in the Irish world to look better is get tattoos. Cover the body. Like, I look like a piece of paper? Let's throw some duels on this thing. You know what I mean? But we don't even do that, right? We mess that up too. We like sad things. Dead people's names. That's our favorite tattoo. Like, looking at me naked isn't sad enough. Think about Grandpa while you're here. Immortality. Guys, I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. Nick, I hope you rip it at the breakfast. And thank you guys for coming out today. Oh, and hold on, one more thing. Jamari, I'd love to just give you one more award if I could. This is the Luncheon Award for being a great kid and sitting through this ceremony today. I appreciate you. Thank you guys very much. Have a great night.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, and to all the sponsors for supporting the club. I'd like to welcome up Josh Davis one more time, who has a parting message for everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, everybody. And before we close out for the day, just like to call your attention to a QR code located on your table. This year, 10 of our Boys and Girls Club members, along with their parents, will attend the National Swim Competition in St. Petersburg, Florida. Among the 10 swimmers, we have 2 longstanding club members who will be participating in their final club swimming competition. Please consider donating to the club and supporting the swimmers as they gear up for their travel to Florida next month. And with that, let's conclude our program. Thank you very much again, and we look forward to next year as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. Thank you very much. Nice job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. When do we pull it out?